Good morning, everyone. It's Dr. Manjari Narkarni. We're talking about nutrition this whole month. So, welcome to another session of Nutrition Month. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about protein. We were discussing the different kinds of protein. We were discussing all about animal proteins. We were talking about vegetarian proteins and vegan proteins. And we also talked about how to choose the proper protein for your unique body, right? So that was the discussion yesterday. Today, we are going to discuss more about how much protein should you be eating, right? So that's the topic for today. Now, this is very interesting. So, the one thing I have seen in my practice is people either have too much protein or not enough, right? And sometimes choosing the protein is not enough or the quantity is not enough. And we're going to talk about that because the protein has to be compatible with your body. The digestion of the protein is also important. So, yesterday, if you haven't watched the video, go back, look at the digestibility of the protein from yesterday's video. And today is how much protein are we going to require um, as a person, right? So, protein is extremely important, as I said yesterday. Now, there are different dietary reference intakes, right? So, typically, the number that we look for is 0.36 grams of protein per pound for an average person who's not very active. We are talking about sedentary lifestyle, right? Or it's zero point 0.8 grams per kg, right? So zero point 0.8 grams per kg body weight is what you will require on a regular basis. So this amounts to 56 grams for an average sedentary man or 46 grams for an average sedentary woman, right? Now, if you are somebody who's active, who has certain conditions where you require more protein, right? And we're going to discuss a little bit about that as well today. So, that time you can up your protein anywhere from 1 gram per pound, or, you know, 1.2 grams, sorry, 1.2, 1 gram per kg, or 1.2 grams per kg, right? If you're an athlete, your needs are going to be increased. And that is when you are going to up. So, protein deficiency, again, you'll have to fill that out and at least get zero point 0.8 grams per kg. But if you have increased requirements, you will have to increase the protein intake. Now, protein intake will always depend, how much you should eat will depend on the level of your activity. It will also depend on your age. It will also depend on muscle mass. It will also depend on your physical goals and overall health, right? And the one thing you have to understand is, we talk about sarcopenia, where as we age, there is this natural process where our body tends to lose more protein and build more fat up. And that has been seen and studied naturally in seniors. Like as we age, every single decade, we are losing the muscle mass 1% at least, right? And it is getting replaced by fat, right? So you have to be mindful of your protein consumption as you age, and you have to be mindful that you're also digesting the protein that you're eating as you age, because your digestion is also going to be impacted as per aging, right? So protein, as I mentioned in yesterday's video as well, it's mainly making the building blocks of your body. All your muscle, your tendons, organs, skin, enzymes, hormones, neurotransmitters, all the molecules in the body are mainly, your immune cells mainly are related to protein, right? They're made up of amino acids. Yesterday we talked a little bit about animal protein and vegan protein. So animal proteins typically have all the essential amino acids, right? If it's plant protein, then you have to combine it in a way that you're getting all the essential amino acids. And how much protein should you have, again, depends. So now the number one thing is, you want to eat slightly more protein if you want to aid weight loss and prevent weight gain, right? So this is again something that's commonly talked about, like when you're looking at weight loss, right? Increasing the protein is the first thing that you need to do. And increasing the protein will ensure that you feel satisfied with your meals. You're not getting super hungry, you're not going to overeat, you're not going to binge of food, because protein will typically fill you up, right, when it comes to weight loss and preventing weight gain. And typically, when we talk about the calories, anywhere from 10 to 30% of your calories can be protein. But if you're looking at weight loss, then having at least 25 to 30% of protein in your diet will boost your metabolism. It has been studied to boost metabolism by 80 to 100 calories per day. Now, protein is also something that requires energy. Like when you're even digesting it, you will consume some energy, and that is also how it's going to increase your metabolism, right? So again, there are so many studies done that where they've seen in men with obesity, 25% in protein calories are going to help them with satiety. They are going to help them avoid the late night snacking or the obsession with food, right? And the same studies have been done with women. So if you are looking, like, typically, how much protein should you eat? So for average person, we talk about anywhere from 10 to 30% protein. But if you are looking for weight loss, 20-25% of your calories should minimum come from your protein. And if you're looking at a 2000 calorie diet usually, right, you can have up to 150 grams of protein. Now, again, for some people who are sedentary, this could be a lot, right? But at least upping it to 100 grams is a good idea if you're looking at weight loss, right? Now, the second part is the muscle gain and strength. If you are an athlete, right? So, whenever you're working out, you're breaking the muscle down. Whenever you're eating right, you're giving it the right nutrition, that's the time you're going to build the muscle, right? So there is a word called positive protein balance in the body, because the protein is getting broken down as you're working out, and you're synthesizing the muscle, right, more than the breakdown. That's called the positive protein balance. And that is extremely important when you're trying to gain the muscle mass, right? So if you want to gain muscle mass, the typical recommendation is 1 gram protein per pound, right? And there are several studies again done on this. Now, again, as I've said, the protein has to be digestible. But if you're looking to gain the protein, or if you're looking to gain the muscle mass, 1 gram per kg is typically of what we talk about. Now, the third condition where you are going to require more protein in the body is pregnancy, right? So nobody talks about this during pregnancy. Everybody goes on the multivitamins, and you're taking folic acid, you're taking your iron, you're taking your calcium. But protein is an extremely important part of your pregnancy journey, and it's also beneficial to the baby, not just the mom but also the baby, right? And you can have some extra protein during pregnancy. So anywhere from 1 to 1.1 grams per kg is the amount of protein that's typically required during pregnancy, right? And if you look at the Ayurvedic pregnancy protocols, or even Indian pregnancy protocols for that matter, there are a lot of laddus, or sweet treats that are made with lots of almonds and different kind of nuts, and that is also where you're getting your additional protein from, right? So nuts or seeds, beans, peas, lentils, you can have some tofu, you can have some dairy. So these are all the things that you can do during pregnancy when you require more protein in the body, right? And other circumstances, if you're an endurance athlete, you're going to require more protein. As I mentioned before, older adults, as we age, we need more protein. We can need anywhere from 1 to 1.2 grams per kg of body weight. That's the amount of protein you will require, and that can prevent osteoporosis as well as sarcopenia, which are extremely common problems among adults. And also for somebody that's recovering from any kind of injury, or if you're recovering from any kind of surgery, that's the time your protein requirement is going to be increased, right? So if you have had a surgery, or if you have had an injury where a certain part of your body is healing, you're going to require more protein than usual, right? So this is I've talked about rough calculations today. I've talked about certain conditions where you're going to require more protein. Now, on an average, right, when we talk about how much protein is required in the body, or per meal is what we're talking about. So a simple way, the simplest way to understand this, not getting into calculations or anything, is you can take your plate, right? You can take your plate and maybe fill a quarter of the plate with some kind of protein. If you're looking for weight loss, if you're looking for gaining more strength, if you're looking to up your protein, right? And that could be easily, or a palm size, right? So I showed the hand portion guide as well. So if you're taking a plate, a quarter size could be protein. You can add in some tofu, you can add in some peas, lentils, beans. Quinoa is a high protein grain. You could have some meat, you could have some, fish, you can have eggs. So these are all the varieties of protein. If you're looking at dense protein like animal protein, this is the kind of, the palm size is the kind of size, hand portion size. If you're looking at nuts, you could do like a cupped hand worth of nuts at a time, right? And that's the amount of protein you should be eating, right? Now try to monitor, try to understand your own activity level, right? Try to gauge whether you have lost any muscle mass in the previous years, right? Are you feeling weaker? Are you feeling stronger? How do you feel? If you see that, okay, my arms feel a little bit, less toned than last year, or I'm having some difficulty, waking up. I'm extremely exhausted. I don't think I have enough muscle mass. I've gained a lot of fat in the past 2, 3 years. It's the time first to get a body composition report done, right? So for women, you should have anywhere from 30 to 35 percentage of your body weight in muscle mass, right? And that will typically be anywhere from 40 to 45% for a man, right? So if you are having less than 30% of the muscle mass, you are probably needing more protein in your diet. So if you are local, if you're watching this, give me a shout. We can book a body composition report. It takes hardly 10 minutes and you can get the results right away. But you will get to understand how much muscle mass you have, right? If you stay far away, you can find a practitioner near you and get your body composition analysis done, and that will also tell you whether you are lacking in the muscle, right? If you're lacking in muscle, 100% you need to up your protein intake, right? So this is a little talk about protein. How much protein do I exactly need? This is how to calculate protein. Typically for an average person, it's zero point 0.8 grams per kg. For somebody with extra needs, it could range anywhere from 1 to 1.2 to 1.5 grams per kg, right? Depending on whether you're an athlete or whether you're a senior or whether you are pregnant, your needs will differ. And make sure you have good digestible protein in the diet, right? So that's my 2 cents on protein. So thank you everyone for watching this. Thank you for joining me for the nutrition month. I know a few of you have been consistent in joining me at 9 o'clock every single day. For the nutrition month, I'll be back tomorrow, and tomorrow I will be discussing more about fats, right? So tomorrow's topic is going to be fats. Like, are fats going to make? Do fats make you fat? Is the topic. I'm going to talk about tomorrow, and then I'll talk about how to choose the perfect fats for you, right? So that's the topic for the next 2 days. So join me at 9 o'clock every single morning for the nutrition month. If you want to set up your free consultation, we can just chat about, your health goals, how I can support you for your health goals, and we can take it from there. So feel free to message me or click on the link that I've shared in this video, which will take you to my booking for the 15-minute free appointment. Thank you and have a fantastic Saturday. I'm heading to my clinic today. I work Saturdays. I'm super excited to work Saturdays as well nowadays. It's been a nice, fun journey. So thank you and have a fantastic day. Bye for now.